What is up, everybody? Happy New Year. In this video today, we're going to be talking all about the new year, and if you guys want to get started selling on Amazon FBA in the new year, what you guys will need to get started. So this video is basically for my beginners out there, anyone who's looking to get started in selling on Amazon in the new year of 2020, then this is the video for you. So stay till the end, and by the end of the video, you'll know exactly what you need to get started. So let's get right into it. So first, we're going to be talking about some of the optional things, and these optional things are for people who have a higher budget. You might want to look into this stuff, but if you have a lower budget, then don't worry about all these optional things. After the optional, then we will get into the necessary stuff for you guys. So let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is going to be an LLC. If you guys don't know what an LLC is, it stands for Limited Liability Company. And what this is going to do for you is it's going to give you protection. So if anyone tries to potentially sue you for whatever reason, if your product blows up on someone and it hurts them really bad and they try to sue you, they can only sue your LLC. They can't sue you personally. So if I have a car and a house that are my personal property, they cannot take that from me. They can only take what's in the LLC, which would be your Amazon seller account. So that's really useful to protect you in the future. I wouldn't get this really until you start making $5,000 or $10,000 of revenue a month. Then you start to, might as well stay safe. And also there's some tax benefits to it. Different corporations or LLCs or things like that, you can get a lot of tax benefits from it, which means less taxes, more money for you. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about is LLC. It's optional. Now, the second thing is going to be education or having a mentor. Now, this is something that I highly recommend to everyone because I had multiple myself when I got started selling 5 years ago almost. So education and mentor, I highly recommend to everyone to go out there and find someone that you relate to, someone that you trust, or someone that you know knows a lot about the topic that's going to treat you well and help you learn through the whole process. Because just like anything, say you're getting a college degree or you're trying to study something in school or whatnot, you have to have someone there teaching you, right? If you try to do something yourself, it's a lot more difficult, and you might want to learn from other people who have done it before you. It makes it a lot easier on you. You have a lot less mistakes. It just helps you get through the whole process very easily and fast. And the faster you get to success, the better, obviously. Now, if you guys are interested in having me as your mentor and also getting into my course, then once again, it is a new year. I am accepting new students into my course. I will leave a link below in the description. It will be the first link down in the description. Go ahead and click on that and it will take you to my website, and you guys can watch the video on the homepage where it explains how my whole course and mentorship work. So it's very limited. If you guys wanted to get into that, it is now open again for the new year. So you guys can look into it. And if you have any questions for me about the course or mentorship, then here's my email right here. It's right above where my finger is, and it says askrileyturner@gmail.com. And you guys can email me there and I will respond to you back very quickly. Now, the next thing is going to be product liability insurance, and this is kind of like the LLC when it comes down to protection. So product liability insurance, also known as PLI, is going to be insurance just like if someone had something explode on them and it injured them. Hopefully not, and this very rarely happens, but for that weird circumstance, if someone did get injured using your product and they wanted to sue you, then your PLI, your product liability insurance, would kick in, just like having house insurance or car insurance or health insurance, anything like that. Basically, it will keep you safe, and that policy will kick in and pay that person instead of them suing you directly and you not having any policy to protect yourself. But once again, not recommended right away. You probably won't need this till way later. Same as the LLC. Maybe once you start hitting 5,000 or 10,000 plus in revenue, then you might want to start looking into it. But for now, don't worry about it. Don't confuse yourself and don't get overwhelmed because the LLC and the PLI are not mandatory at all. So the next one we're going to talk about is going to be a trademark or patent. And this is something just like the LLC or the PLI. And the trademark is going to keep you safe with your name, your company name or your brand name. So let's say I want to sell as Riley Turner Incorporated, and I want to trademark that name so no one else can use it. And if someone does use it, then I can sue them, or I could have their name removed or their listing removed. So once again, this is good to have once you start hitting $5,000 or $10,000 in revenue. Trademarks aren't really that expensive, a couple $100, and you can trademark your brand name. That way no one ever can steal it or use it or take it again. Also for patents, patents are really not necessary unless you're inventing your own new product, which very little of us are. Most of us are just private labeling other products that have already been invented. So if you guys want to invent something new, which I don't recommend, it's very difficult. Let's say you are one of those people who just really wants to invent something new, then you might want to look into getting a patent so no one else can take that design idea. And that's, once again, very rare situation. The trademark I do recommend, though, after you start hitting that 5 or 10,000 in revenue, get the LLC, the PLI, and get a trademark, all three of those things. So the last one is going to be a business bank account. This one is more to make your life easier in the long run. So when it comes time to do your taxes, if you have a personal bank account and a business bank account, it makes it so much easier to keep everything in line and organized. But if you just have one personal account funding your business and funding your personal life, then it starts to get pretty confusing when it comes to taxes and accounting for everything and whatnot. So I highly recommend you separate your personal life with your business life, and then you create a business bank account for your Amazon FBA business. And you can go to any major bank for this: Bank of America, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, Citibank. Any of these banks are fine. And if you're trying to sell in a certain country, I highly recommend that you get a bank from that country. So if you're trying to sell on Amazon US, I highly recommend getting a US business bank account instead of having a personal bank account from your country. So that is also optional. It's up to you. If you like to stay organized like myself, then I highly recommend that you do that. Now we're getting on to the necessary things. So for those of you who are on a limited budget, now we are on to the necessary, so you guys can listen up now. So the first thing we're going to need is your budget to get started. So a lot of people always ask me, how much do I need to get started? And what things do I need to get? We've been naming off a couple things that you need to get already, but we're going to go more into detail right now. So I recommend having anywhere between $800 to $3,000. Obviously, the more the merrier, but that is going to be the sweet spot. I usually see people get started with about $1,000 or $1,500. That is going to be what you need to get started. And that includes buying your product and then paying for your shipping and paying for your advertisement and paying for all the fees and also your softwares for finding products and everything that we're going to talk about in just a second. So that is the budget that I recommend. Now, the next thing is going to be an Amazon seller account. Obviously, you cannot sell without having an Amazon seller account. So this is pretty easy to do. All you have to do is put in some information, your personal information, and you do a little verification for your identity. So it will check your identity to make sure you are who you are, and then that's pretty much it, and you have an Amazon seller account. It also charges you $39.99 a month, so $40 a month for having the seller account. So I highly recommend that you don't get the seller account right away. If you're getting a course or a mentor and you want to learn everything first, then I would learn everything and become an expert at it and then pay for the seller account. That way you're not wasting the $40 fee. If it takes you a month or two to learn and find a product, then might as well not spend $40 a month if you're not using your seller account yet. So the seller account is mandatory. You need it, and if you don't have one, you can't sell. So the next thing is going to be a software to help you find a product. So what I recommend is the AMZSCOUT Chrome extension and web app. If you guys don't know what that is, basically to find a perfect product to sell that will make you money, you need to do some research into that product. You need to look at certain things like, how is it selling currently? What are the sales on average? How many reviews on average does it have? How are the top sellers on Amazon doing? What do their listings look like? What are their star ratings currently? Different things like that. Also, the weight and size of the product. When you put all these things together, it's going to show you whether it is going to be a good product or a bad product. So that's the good thing. We're not just guessing on everything. We want to make sure that we are looking at actual statistics and numbers, and that will show us whether it will do well or not. So really quick, let me pull it up and I'll show you kind of an idea of how it works and what it looks like, because I'm sure most of you, if you're new, you may not know what that is. Here we are on my YouTube channel as well. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. So let me go on to Amazon really quick. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit of what the AMZSCOUT Chrome extension looks like. So let's say we're on Amazon and we want to look into dog toys and see how they're selling. So we're just going to type in dog toys. It's going to pop up with all the top selling products that are related to dog toys. And what we're going to do is we are going to run the AMZSCOUT Chrome extension, which is going to pop up here in your toolbar. So once we click on the AMZSCOUT button, it's going to pop up with this, giving you an overall score of the product, what the profit looks like, what the demand looks like, and what the competition looks like. All these things are going to dictate whether we want to go with this product or not. And up top, we can see all the averages, and we can look at each individual listing below that if we wanted to as well. So if you wanted to see if a certain type of dog toy, maybe these are what you wanted to sell, you can look at how this exact seller is doing. So they're selling it at about $20. They're making about 549 sales a month, and they're making about $10,000 or $11,000 in revenue a month. So if you wanted to copy the seller or do a certain product like this seller and compete with them, then you can look into it further. That is basically what this is for. It is for narrowing down what you want to do and making sure that what you do is a good choice for you and it will make money. So like like I said, if you don't have the Chrome extension or web app, then it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to find a product. So I highly recommend you do that. And AMZSCOUT right now is having a pretty good deal on 7 tools for one price. And I think it's like $300 off the original amount. So I'll leave that down below in the description for you guys to check out. I'm not sure how much longer they're doing it. I know it was for New Year's. So if you guys want that offer, that link, it's down below in the description. Now, after your product research tools that we just talked about, you're going to need an international credit card. Now, an international credit card just means any of the major credit card companies that work across the world, like Visa, American Express, MasterCard, anything like that. Those are all fine. And if you don't have one of those, then you need to get one, or else your Amazon seller account won't allow you to create one. So that is also necessary. And also, debit cards don't work. You need a credit card. So an international credit card, not a debit card. And after that, we have the internet connection and computer, which is pretty obvious. A lot of people ask me, oh, can I use my iPad or my iPhone? You can, it's just very difficult. And if you want to use something like the AMZSCOUT Chrome extension and web app, then you're going to be very limited because you can't use those on the phone or the iPad. You have to have an actual computer for that. And obviously you need an internet connection. That way you can go on the internet and look for these products and create your seller account. So that is pretty much it when it comes down to what you need to get started. If you have all these things in the necessary category, like the $800 to $3,000 budget, you created your Amazon seller account, you have the Chrome extension and web app, and you have an international credit card and an internet connection and a computer, then you are ready to go. And after that, you can work on the optional things once you get selling. Other than the mentor and education, I highly recommend that you get that right away if you do have the budget for it. Now, that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. I hope if you're a new seller, then you are excited for the new year of 2020 and you are getting started right away and not procrastinating on it, and you are ready to rock and roll. Make sure you guys go down below and leave a like if you learned anything new. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video. Last but not least, go down below, leave me a comment, and let me know what you thought about the video. Also, let me know if you have any questions, and I respond to every single comment. So that's it, guys. I will see you in the next video, or I will see you if you email me to get into my course, or I will see you if you get into the course right away and we will start working together. That's it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.